Get excited, people. We're gonna make spaghetti sauce. Not just any spaghetti sauce, my spaghetti sauce. And it is the best sauce ever that anyone's ever made. And I know this for a fact because I do. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is start your water boiling. That pot is filled about 3/4 of the way up, so get your water boiling. The next step is weighing my tomatoes because I don't wanna do this until I have about 10 to 12 pounds of tomatoes because it is kind of a labor-intensive process, so I wanna just like get a whole bunch done at once. If you don't have that many tomatoes or you don't wanna make that much sauce, cut this recipe in half and you'll be fine. The first thing I do is weigh my tomatoes. I look for things that are gonna be a problem for them to go in hot water. This cracked, but it's healed over, so I'm not worried about it. This one is a little more severe, so I'm gonna set this guy aside and hand peel it myself and cut out the bad parts. So I just go through and inspect them, and I also at this point remove the green stem. Just the green stem, you're not gonna core it yet or anything like that. So now that I've weighed my tomatoes, they're all washed and they're over there in the sink, ready for the next step. My water is still coming to boil, so I'm going to prepare my garlic. With 10 to 12 pounds of tomatoes, I would recommend your biggest garlic bulb that you have, and I use all of it. I'm not gonna use this one because I want this for seed garlic here in another month, so I just grabbed these 3. Okay, I peeled all my garlic. Now, admittedly, this is a lot of garlic. If you like garlic, use this much. If you aren't that big of a fan, then use less, but it really, really does a number on your sauce, if you know what I mean. I put it in a little bowl with some olive oil because it gets sticky. So this just makes it come right out. So this little gadget is from OXO, super inexpensive, got it at Amazon. It's a little itty bitty mandolin. So it's just 3 parts. Just slide that on there, but I'm gonna show you how easy, especially if you have like hand strength issues. I can't use a garlic press. I can't, I have messed up, can't do it. So this thing takes no strength whatsoever. You have to be able to hold it with both hands, but other than that, you don't need hand strength. You see? You see how easy that is? It's fantastic. I love this thing. I bought it like for everybody I knew after I got it. Anyway, I'm gonna go through, do the rest of the garlic, and then the tomatoes are ready for the next step. Okay, the next step is getting these tomatoes in here, and that's gonna help the skins split for you. I use a spider strainer, as you can see here, to gently lower them in because I do not want to be splashing boiling water on myself. So I just load them in. I'm going to do this part in real time because I want you to see how fast the splits start to happen. So I think this is just going to fit these. Yeah. Okay. While those are doing that, I'm going to get ice. I don't do this ahead of time. I do this right now because I don't want this ice to melt. Now I'm ready with this. And again, I'm doing this in real time, just like I'm doing it because I want you to see how fast the skin splitting starts. Now I use tongs to sort of go around and look for any splitting. Okay, we found one. See how fast this happened? To show you. Do you see that right there? That is what you're looking for. And as soon as that happens, you take them out and you put them in here. And if you're waiting and you don't have any more, or there's another one, I will do this like back and forth to the sink as many times as necessary until I have them all out of there. So there's just 3, but I'm just gonna dump them. I'm dumping them right in that ice bath. I don't let them sit around and wait because then they're gonna end up cooking. We wanna stop that. There's a split. I'm not gonna keep you, in live mode for the rest of this, but just know once it's been about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm just gonna start taking them out and I'll use like a little paring knife or something to get the splitting going. But that is what you want to do. That's what you want to see. This, and as soon as you do, you take them out and transfer them into your ice bath. We'll be back when all of these are ready to go. Okay, you'll see how I have this set up very intentionally. I have my bowl of tomatoes that have split. as you can see here. I have this little bowl, and then I have this bowl. The skins are gonna go in here, and the skinned tomatoes are gonna go there. So once you do this with the boiling the water, the skins just come right off. That was a really mushy one, so let me find a better one to show you. See, they just peel right off. And we're almost ready to get these guys in the skillet. Believe it or not, have faith. We have peeled, that's the word I was looking for, not skinned. We have peeled all of our tomatoes. And some of them, you know, are a little more like still looking like tomatoes because they weren't as ripe. Others are like, you know, mushy little blobs. It does not matter at all. It doesn't matter. So what we're gonna do now is this is the bowl with them all whole, essentially. This is where they're going. But in here, I don't know if you can see that, that bowl I keep right here. So I take the little core out and then I come over here and I just cut them into quarters. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you know, don't get too hung up on, oh, I lost a bit of tomato. You'll be here all day if you're that careful. Just get it done. And I'm using orange Rossellini tomatoes. These are all orange Rossellini tomatoes. You can still buy orange Rossellini seeds on MI Gardener. That's where I first got them. Somebody sent these seeds to him. They were like, somebody from Italy, I think, sent them to him. And I was so excited about them, I immediately bought them. That was 7-8 years ago. And started growing them, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. The last 2 years, I've just said, I'm not growing any other tomatoes because they're perfect. And I don't hear anyone else talking about them except my own, you know, personal circle of friends and family because I've turned them on to them. But I don't really hear anybody else out there anymore talking about these tomatoes, and we need to talk about these tomatoes. I would highly, highly recommend that you pick up a packet of these seeds from Luke at MI Gardener. My husband and I, in fact, have debated. The debate's over. But for a while we were debating what makes this sauce so good. And he said, it's those tomatoes. I'm telling you, it's those tomatoes. It's the orange Rossellini. I was like, you know, they are good. They're real good. But I think it's the process. And he's like, no way. There's no way. It's the tomato. It's both, but it's definitely the tomatoes. And I was like, well, I'm going to experiment. So last year I went to the grocery store and I just, you know, I picked out the best looking tomatoes that I could find, you know, that were, you know, not too pale looking, you know, like just the best ones I could get my hands on. And I bought like probably 5 pounds, brought them home, did this exact same thing with them. And my husband and my daughter separately, I made them bowls of spaghetti and they were like, it's good. It's good. And I was like, you don't like it? And they're like, it's not the same. It's almost the same, but it's not. So it's the tomatoes and the process for sure. I too am convinced because I felt the same way about this non-orange Rossellini sauce. But if you've never had the orange Rossellini sauce, you're not going to know the difference for now. So I would still encourage you to make this sauce with whatever tomatoes you have, but pick up a pack of orange Rossellini. If I could send everybody a pack of seeds, I would, but I save mine, but I don't save that many. As you can see, I'm not even attempting to save these. It's just too many moving parts for me right now. But yeah, the orange Rossellini absolutely is kind of the magic thing and the process. But if you do this process with whatever tomatoes you have, you're going to have a beautiful spaghetti sauce and you're going to love it. But if you ever do this with the actual orange Rossellini, you will say to yourself, I know what she's talking about now. Okay, I made a big giant mess, but I'm done. This bowl right here is not liquid gold. I can hear you guys screaming from here, don't throw that out. It's got all the flavor. No, it doesn't. This has all the flavor. This also has flavor. But what are you gonna do with this? You're going to, if you put that all in your skillet, all you're doing is making your sauce take longer to break down and to evaporate off all of this extra water. And I've done it both ways, you guys, so many times, and it makes no difference. So just to speed up the process, I took my spider strainer and went in here and made sure that I really got out all the bits. So it's in there. And when I take this to the stove, I'm going to use this again. We're at the stove. I told you we'd get here. You just had to be patient. Okay, so I have I'm heating up my skillet. I have a full half cup of olive oil here. This is very important. There are three major components or major big hitters. I don't know what to call it with this sauce. One, orange rossellini are the best tomatoes. Two, the process itself. And the third most important thing is that you use actual, real olive oil. This is not the only brand that's actual, real, authentic olive, pure, I should say, olive oil. But this California Olive Ranch tends to be in every store I go to. So it's a really good one. It is expensive. If you're able to buy it, but you're like, I don't want to, that's just really expensive olive oil. Maybe consider, if you can afford it, just buy this olive oil just buy real olive oil just for your sauce. That's an idea. And then for other stuff, you're going to fry up some chicken nuggets, use avocado oil or whatever. But if you are not able to afford or get your hands on real, true olive oil, I would not use a half a cup. Because the half a cup, part of the reason for that is because the olive oil is a huge part of the flavor profile overall. So again, if you're using something that's cut with canola or something, or just like all you have is Wesson in your pantry, use it to saute your garlic, but I wouldn't use that much. I for sure would not. So are we good? We're good. We're going to turn that down a little bit. So you do not start this process with the garlic until your tomatoes are at this point completely ready to go. Because this garlic will take like a minute, if that. And yeah, this is a ridiculous amount of garlic, but I'm telling you, it makes for a really special spaghetti sauce. So, but you really, if you don't like garlic that much, you don't have to put that much in. Obviously, it's kind of ridiculous, but this is how I love it, and my family loves it. This is how everybody wants it. So this is what I do. So I'm not going to walk away from here on out until I get those tomatoes and everything else in. We're going to be in this together. I'm not going to walk away or stop or start the camera, because if you take your eyes off this garlic, it's going to start turning brown and crispy like that. So, and that's another reason why you make sure your tomatoes and everything you need is your tomatoes are totally prepped. You have all your spices, everything's all ready to go. The tomatoes have to be ready to go, because you can turn this off, if you weren't ready, you're like, oh shoot, and I did that the first time. You can turn this off, but it's still going to just sit in the pan and kind of cook. And garlic doesn't take a whole lot to be ready to go. I think we're done. We're done. So excited. Aren't you excited? So now, same thing with the bowl over there. I am not going to just take this whole thing and dump it in there, because I don't want all this tomato water. Again, all you're going to be doing is cooking it off. So why start out with it? So I just take the actual fruit, and in it goes. Aren't you excited already? I am. This is kind of labor intensive, or it feels like it is. It's not that big of a deal, but it is totally worth the time. By the way, if you're going to do 10 to 12 pounds of tomatoes, notice the size skillet I'm using. It's a 12-inch skillet, and it's about 3 inches deep. Big pots, it doesn't come out the same. So if you have like a big stock pot or something, it doesn't come out the same. I don't know why, but again, I've done this like umpteen times. So another thing that you might consider, I'm not suggesting it. You might at some point go, this is taking way too long for this to break down. I'm just going to use an immersion blender. You're going to ruin it. I mean, you're not really going to ruin it, but you're going to completely disrupt the texture. You're going to take it all away. And while we don't want it this chunky, it's not going to be this chunky. Don't use an immersion blender. It's like blasphemy to me. Again, I did that once too. As soon as I stuck that stick in there, I was like, why did I do that? Anyway, so we have a long ways to go on this, on the cooking part, but now this is hands off. I'll explain this in a minute. Just put that there. So right now, you're gonna initially season this sauce, and then you're never gonna season it again. Don't ever add anything else to it again until you're at like 75% done. And I'll show you what that looks like. Just put in this initial amount because you have to wait for those sugars to start breaking down and the sauce actually, you know, the tomatoes emulsifying with the olive oil before you know what you're tasting. Otherwise, it's just sort of like tomato. It's like vegetable soup. It's not emulsified yet. So I have a tablespoon each of basil and Italian seasoning. Okay, so that's going to go right on in. I have a half a tablespoon of salt. This will be in the comments, don't worry. I mean, in the description. Half a tablespoon of salt. And this is 1 teaspoon of pepper. Okay, that's all we're gonna add for now. Bye-bye spices, no more. Give this a little stir initially, just to get that in there. And then if you want, and this is totally optional, but for whatever reason, even though we have like, you know, 67 pounds of garlic in here, red pepper flakes do something unspeakable to this sauce. I'm not even kidding. It's like, it takes all those flavors and amplifies them. Every single flavor gets amplified when you add a bit of red pepper. Don't go overboard. You know, just go like that. That probably was the equivalent of a 1/4 teaspoon. So don't go any heavier than that. You know, less is better. You can add more later. Again, once these flavors develop, it's going to take a while. And I'm going to show you this a little closer up here in a second. But this is where you start. Okay. Actually, I'm going to show you this right now because I want you to see. As you can see, it's super chunky still. The tomatoes are, you know, as intact as they were when I put them in there. We're just going to let this cook and cook and cook. Every time I come by, I'm going to do this. Okay, and it just helps to break everything down. Right now, this is what it looks like. This is not what you're going for. You will see a big difference when this is actually done. This is orange, okay? I don't know if you can tell that on camera, but this is orange. When this is done, it's going to be crimson, and it's going to be spectacular. Okay, I did make note of when I started this, and once I got everything in here, it was about 7:10, and it's about 7:45 right now. So I wanted to give you an update on what it looks like at this point. I've come through and gone like this twice. This is my 3rd time doing this, okay? At this point, you might think, because it's your first time making it, right? You might think, I guess that's done. Here, I'm going to show you how you know it's not done. First of all, do you see how this oil is separated from the tomatoes, from the sauce itself? When it's done, this will be completely emulsified. There won't be any of this oil separated. It just takes a really long time. But this has been, what, 35 minutes, and this is what it looks like so far. Again, you might look at this and go, I don't know, I'm hungry. That looks right. Try to wait. This is not what the final product will look like, okay? This is not it. If you're not freaking out about it, it's just not done. It needs more cook time. So I'm not going to give you any more updates in this stage, but when it's done, I will show you and you will see the difference. And that's how you're going to know. The moment you've all been waiting for, this is what I'm talking about. You see how it's just all emulsified and it's that dark crimson color? The oil, you see how it's, look at, that's how you know you're done. The oil and the tomatoes and all this, everything's all emulsified and combined. So I hope you try this sauce. I hope you get some orange rousselini seeds and give those a try next year because it really makes a big difference. But if you can't get your hands on them, try it with your tomatoes you're growing this year. I guarantee you, you're going to find that this is a pretty darn special sauce and nothing from the store is going to compare. Like, nothing. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, the sauce is done. Don't mind me, I'm just cracking myself up with my 19th take just to tell you that the sauce is done. It's worth it. It took about an hour and a half cook time. in the skillet. That's not including prep time, of course. And just thank you for hanging out with me in the kitchen. I really enjoy making cooking videos. If there are any other summer harvest recipe videos that you'd like to see me do, drop a comment below and I'll probably do it. Anyway, that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and turn on the bell notification so that you're notified the next time I upload a video. Until then, thanks, take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.